everybody, and welcome to Andrew Reviews, where today I'm taking a look at the Steven Universe movie. Yes, that's right. Cartoon Network's finally done something right for once. Never thought I'd ever say those words. Excuse me for a second, please. They finally did something right. Oh my god. Oh. Yes, but Cartoon Network has finally done something correct. The Steven Universe movie came out on September 2nd, 2019. And God, I'm telling you this right now, people. It is beautiful. I mean, sweet barbecue sauce. This thing is great. There's no good analogy to describe how great this movie is. This is honestly what every single Steven Universe fan has ever wanted in a movie. I want to stop right now for a moment. If you have yet to see this movie, if you haven't even graced its presence with yourself yet, do yourself a favor. Stop this video, go watch it, then come back. It is available apparently on DVD, which I will be picking up in a heartbeat. I will find it, I will own it, it will be mine. Get a copy of it on DVD. Watch it online. Do something to watch this movie before you continue with this video. I will still be here. So pause the video. Pause it right now. I will still be here. I'll give you a couple seconds. Take time. Take time. Okay. I think that's long enough. If you're back, cool. That means at this point forward, spoilers are going to be ahoy. That's right. You're jumping on the SS Spoiler. I'll give you one more chance to jump ship. Go on, take your time. We good? Let's get into this, shall we? Steven Universe, the movie. First off, when I heard that this movie was coming out, I was ecstatic about it. Steven Universe is one of the few Cartoon Network properties that I enjoy watching, and that's saying something. Teen Titans Go can kiss my ass. Adventure Time was alright, and a regular show was good as well, but in all honesty, Steven Universe is Cartoon Network's one and only saving grace. In all honesty, if the network came to an end today, if it had just stopped existing all of a sudden, if they announced we're shutting down the offices, two things I would take away from Cartoon Network for the rest of my life. Toonami and Steven Universe. And I know somebody's out there is going to go, what about all the other fun shows that you like to watch? I've seen online and other places, but out of originality of programming, those two things definitely stay with me 100%. However, Steven Universe is definitely the way to go, and this is perfect. For those of you that saw the series on Cartoon Network, you'll know what I mean when I say the following. New episodes were always few and far between. An occasional week long of new episodes here. Otherwise, it's like one new episode every, month and a half. I have no gripes about that with Rebecca Sugar or any of the staff at that. Look, your hands are tied by Cartoon Network's mighty wallet. If they don't want to put the episode up, they are going to stop you from making it. You can't stop them. They're the almighty powerhouse behind the wallet that pays you guys. I have no issue with you. You're basically forced by the hand of fate that's pushing you. In this case, that hand has a giant CN behind it, but you know what I mean. However, this movie is just what the fans have wanted. Now, I'm going to start it off right where the movie starts. I'm assuming, since I missed the last couple episodes of the final season so far of Steven Universe, that this is taking place pretty much straight afterwards. And from everything that I've seen online, it does. But Steven's on Homeworld. Yes, the Gems. This time, he has managed to befriend the Diamonds. Blue Diamond, Yellow Diamond, and White Diamond. I'm just going to safely say the following here. They're the one gripe I'm going to have about this movie, and I will explain why in a few minutes. But Steven is now 16 years old. First off, I love time skips. Whenever you do a time skip in a series, it always brings more badassery to whatever you're telling. And most of the time, it's usually with an action-oriented show. Dragon Ball Z did a time skip between Gohan beating Cell and everybody going off and the Buu saga starting. There was a massive time skip of about 7 years. It made Gohan a lot more impressionable to a lot more people. Sure, we still had to push the Goku button to save the world, but in all honesty, Gohan rose above the ranks. Yes, I still think Gohan got screwed. Don't get me wrong, Goku's my favorite character out of the series, and I like the original stuff, not the retcon that Toriyama kind of did to us with Broly. I'm not even going to get into that. That's still what I'm talking about in therapy. Well, my own therapy that I have with me and my stuffed animals. But that's between me and them. No, I love time skips. It worked for Dragon Ball Z, it worked for One Piece, and it works for Steven Universe. This movie is great with that. Steven has basically decided now that he wants to go back home after apparently fixing a lot of stuff on Homeworld. The Diamonds aren't too keen on that idea, White Diamond especially. She wants Steven to stay. Yellow and Blue want Steven to stay and take over what his mother, Pink Diamond, aka Rose Quartz, did and basically be the fourth diamond. He don't want that. Now, I don't blame him. He wants to go back home. I mean, what the hell's there on Homeworld for him? Nothing. Home, that's where his friends and family are. You three, you're more of an annoyance. Boy, will I explain that a little later on. Oh, and before I go any further, this is a musical. Yes. This actually is going to be on one of my few I stand musical charts. I'm not a fan of musicals. There's only now 3 that actually managed to stay on there, at least movie-wise, and this is one of them. The second being Little Shop of Horrors. I'm not going to tell you what number 1 is. That's between me and myself. It's not Evita. I hate that movie. But anyway, Steven goes back home to where everything in Beach City is a little different, but in a much better way. You have a little more of an impressive beach house that Steven's at. The lookout and everything else is a little more updated. The town itself's a bit different. Everything is just in a wonderful state. Steven is reminiscing about how wonderful it is to be home and having his happily ever after that he's always wanted with his friends and everybody else. And then we're basically introduced to the villain. A strange anomaly comes out of the sky. You know, after everybody sings their song about how great it is and giving us a small backstory as to all the characters, which honestly was not a bad idea for those that have never seen the movie before. Hell, never seen the movie. For those who have never seen the series before, this works out really well. I'm not going to lie. First off, this makes it so that you actually can understand what's going on, and on top of that, so you can enjoy what's going on. I like it for that reason alone. That's all I need to say. Good night, folks. All right. I digress. There's still more. But still, I like it. That's all that counts. Anyway, so what else is there to talk about in this movie? Well, a lot. Unfortunately, another one of Rose Quartz's fuck-ups. I'm just going to say it. Well, another one of Rose Quartz's fuck-ups comes to Earth. Yeah, Spinel. Turns out, I'm just going to spoil it here. Spinel was Rose Quartz's, aka Pink Diamond's, playmate. Yeah, I'm just going to say it here. She screwed up big time here. See, Pink Diamond wanted so much to have a colony like Yellow and Blue and White did, so much so that when she was finally given one, she left her little playmate back on a garden for 6,000 years. After Steven's little message to all the gems throughout the universe that, and I quote, "I'm going back home," all hell breaks loose. Spinel shows up on Earth with an injector set to poison the Earth and kill every organic life on it, and immediately takes out Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl. First off, badass song right there. Okay? Other Friends is one badass song that I cannot underestimate enough. I'm underestimating how cool this song is. It is amazing. Spinel ends up basically beating the crap out of them, barely by doing anything. She's like a comic fight. She can stretch her body to unusual proportions. She has the upper hand over them. It's basically, imagine what happened if you've ever saw Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta versus Arali. That's basically what it was. And I love Spinel's design. That is definitely 100%. I'm not going to put it up here for possibility of copyright, but if you see the movie, you'll know what I mean. Her purified form is definitely a middle finger to Disney. And if you tell me that that is not a middle finger to Disney, you have some problems. That is a middle finger to Disney. That is a Mickey Mouse clone with little tiny indents up in the ear for hearts so they can't get sued, but that is a middle finger to Disney, and I love that. And the stretchiness is a middle finger to Nickelodeon, and I love that too. Both companies need to be given the middle finger a little more often, I think. But this definitely is a good way to do it. Well, Spinel ends up using a device that basically resets the gems back to their original form. Pearl's the first one to awaken, however, she ends up recognizing Steven's father, Greg, as her master. Therefore, the whole crap show of what a Pearl does is once again revealed. For those of you that have never seen the series, Pearls are basically your overglorified ass kissers. No, seriously. You ever want a whole shit ton of basically ass-kissing, subordinates? Get yourself some Pearls. They will kiss ass so bad it isn't funny. Amethyst gets reset to pretty much right when she busted out of the kindergarten, and Garnet is split back into Ruby and Sapphire, who are basically back to their pre-Garnet form. Yeah. Steven's also injured in this fight as well because his powers are completely diminishing. His human half kept him from poofing. However, his gem power is completely fading. It's going back to what it was when he first had it. Barely able to control his power, and at a time when he so desperately needs to. So, with the A-Team officially out of commission, who do we turn to? Well, when they're down, you go to the B-Team. The B-Team in this case consisting of Lapis, Peridot, and Bismuth. We're screwed. Now, it turns out that they actually have an idea, but they don't know how to restore the other 3 diamonds. No, sorry, the other 3 gems. Diamonds. I have beef with them yet. But anyway, they end up coming up with an idea and basically try to help Steven keep them under control. Be it half-assedly. Look, I'm just going to say this. Out of those 3 characters, the one that I feel the most sorry for throughout the entire series from her introduction to now is Lapis. The only reason why is because she felt miserable everywhere. She was used by a majority of people, and even when she tried to sacrifice herself to stop Jasper, she actually felt like she was being used more than anything else. Steven, if it wouldn't have been for him freeing her and forcing her in a way to basically befriend Peridot so that the 2 of them could have awkwardness but at the same time grow as friends, it honestly would not have turned out the way it did. And with Bismuth there, what the hell? Bismuth was cool for her 1 introduction episode and then coming back in for Ruby and Sapphire's wedding. What the hell? I don't care. The movie's cool. Anyway, Steven manages to get Amethyst back first. Her memories returning her and restoring her back to her current and present form. She is the least helpful, though. Pearl's the next one that they try to get back. However, thinking that they have to re-break her heart with the whole rose quartz thing doesn't work out that well, and instead managed to do it with Greg. And another pretty cool song, however, it drained the majority of Steven's powers. He is now weakened pretty badly and is in pretty bad shape, but he's persevering and pushing on. Now, if you're wondering where Connie is throughout all this, she's off at space camp. Yeah, that's gripe number 2 I think I can have with this movie. That's about it. But anyway, the movie continues with Spinel still making an ass out of herself, but Steven, after restoring Pearl, manages to find Spinel, who takes him to the garden where she was. Pink Diamond's garden, where she spent 6,000 years waiting for her friend to come back. Honestly, at this point, I would just say Steven's mom's a total prick. Look, I'm just going to come right out and say it. She doomed the Earth by purposely pissing off the diamonds. She fucked up a whole realm of stuff, which caused Steven more harm than good, because there's no way that Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl were going to be enough to protect him, and I think she knew that. 3, Steven's still cleaning up his own mother's mess. And 4, did I mention he's still cleaning up her mess? God. And it continues. Spinel basically laminates her entire upset disarray and slowly returns to her evil form that Steven originally met. However, Steven manages to convince her to come back and stop the injector. She does, however, we have a slight problem on our hands. Steven now laminates what he needs to do to restore Garnet, and Spinel instantly begins to think that Steven just used her. Technically, he didn't, because he needed to stop one thing to buy himself some time to figure out how to fix the other problem. There was no guarantee that he was going to forget her at all, but she was terrified that he was going to, just like his mother had. But his mother didn't technically forget her. You know, it's just a long thing. I'm just going to say it this way. His mom's a prick. I said it. Anyway, all hell breaks loose. Spinel jams the injector back into the Earth, captures Garnet, and as Steven manages to break the resetter scythe thing, I know there was an actual name for it, but I don't remember it. Steven manages to break it while saying it's the truth, which triggers Garnet, who now realizes that she has to return to herself because of what Steven said. It triggered her dormant memories, and thus Garnet returns. Spinel now attempts to just destroy the Earth, damn the consequences. Everybody's here. Connie's come back in, courtesy of Lion going to pick her up. Everybody's going to save the town, and Steven's going to go for one final showdown with Spinel. His power still weakened and very, very, very drained. However, he does his best to climb the injector, getting all the way up to the top for the final showdown. He finally yells at her that this is no longer a game, to which pisses off Spinel. The two have an epic battle. Steven's about to be dropped off the injector to his death when he finally realizes that everything that's been happening, he's reliving all of his worst memories because he has to change. That's what his one power was to begin with, the power to change. And believe it or not, it triggers his powers. He's restored back to his full strength and takes on Spinel in one of the most epic fights that has ever transpired in the history of this show. Look, this series has had some pretty impressive fights. Garnet taking on Jasper. You've had Smoky Quartz taking on Jasper. So many decent fights. I am not going to lie that there have been some decent battles in this show. Even Stefani's first battle as her fused form, even when she saved Amethyst, that was an epic battle. However, this one blows all them out of the water and then some, and put to one of the best songs that this movie has to offer. Oh, man, is it beautiful. Steven eventually manages to win the day after being shoved down to the ground in a massive explosion courtesy of Spinel, with the injector somewhat destroyed. Look, the video that I saw online kind of did some glitching to avoid copyright, but that's the general gist of it. I double-checked the Wikipedia entry anyway, so there's that. But anyway, Spinel is now worried that what's going to happen since she caused so much problems. She's the main source of their woe now. However, they don't have long to think about this because Steven's figured out a way to kind of restore the planet by using his healing power and kissing everything. Which, while that sounds like a good idea, keep in mind this is a kid that... Look, kid, you don't have enough saliva. No one does. Anyway, enter the diamonds. Yes, Yellow, Blue, and White Diamond were getting a little bored with their new peaceful ways on Homeworld that they decided to come to Earth to live there. They're not too happy about it. Well, White Diamond sure as hell isn't happy about it. She's still being a uptight prick that can't pull her pole out of her ass, but still, I'm getting to it. Anyway, they end up finding out that one of Pink Diamond's lost treasures, Spinel, is alive. And because they want something to remember Pink Diamond so badly, they were willing to take Steven, I'm not even going to lie. They are willing to take Spinel back to Homeworld with them to live out a peaceful life. Have her live in the castle and keep them company for eternity. And in all honesty, good riddance. One of the things that I have the issue with in this is, well, I'll get to that. Give me a minute. Anyway, Spinel goes off after doing another rendition of the song that kind of opened the movie. Well, okay, on Homeworld anyway, but the actual opening song I like to think of was the, Here We Are in the Future. Steven sends Spinel off. Everything goes back to being happy, and I can't wait for the next season to start a Steven universe. 16-year-old Steven, Connie. I want some decency in this. I want another season, damn it. Rebecca Sugar has a winner on her hands, and Cartoon Network has a winner on their hands, provided they keep their head out of their ass with it. This is a perfect show. Start doing stuff like this, and it'll be beautiful. This is what a movie should be for a series that has brought so much joy to people. I can't even begin to tell you how happy I am from watching this. Now for my two gripes that I have about it. And oh, yes, I have two gripes about it. The first gripe I have is quite simple. The diamonds. Look, I know that Yellow and Blue Diamond started to change their way after they realized that Pink Diamond and Rose Quartz were one and the same, and that Steven is kind of her. Look, I don't get it either, but to each their own. But anyway, they manage to change their ways. Albeit stupidly, but White Diamond, way over the top for this. The music's beautiful. The action scenes are great. The plot is wonderful. If I have to find something to nitpick about, it's got to be the diamonds. Look, they're annoying as hell in this. In fact, they're absent for a good hour of this movie, at least. Show up at the end of it. After all hell has broke loose, they show up and go, "Oh, are we interrupting something?" A perfect line, if this would be abridged, would be, "No! No! The Earth was just in moral danger. Another one of my mom's screw-ups came down here, wants to kill everybody. But no, how are you doing? What are you doing here? Are we interrupting something? Well, let's see. Giant craters on a hillside, cracks all across the foundations of the ground. Yeah, I would say you're interrupting something here. Something big happened. The other gripe that I have about this, and I understand why it's not in the movie, but it would have been nice to at least have it in the movie as a, neat way of showing the fans, but I understand that they kind of did it then with Steven and his dad, was having Stefani come back for another round. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is, if you've never seen the series, it's Steven and Connie's fused form. If you ever saw the episode when they introduced it to the Gems, Garnet was basically losing her shit. And when they were having a mental issue that was preventing them from actually working together, Garnet was the one that was able to save them and help them. So, yeah. I understand why it couldn't be in the movie, because they sent Connie off to space camp and Steven's gem powers were severely weakened. But we could have had her show up to kind of help Steven, sort of fight. Something. I don't know. Would have been nice, that's all I'm saying. But look, if we get another season, I'll overlook that. The diamonds, on the other hand, I'm not overlooking that. Look, that's honestly the one gripe I have about this movie is the diamonds are idiots. They were the most menacing force, the thing that they were afraid of the most. reduced to idiotic comic relief. And not even good comic relief. We're talking, you're at a comedy club, great comedians on stage, then all of a sudden, here comes Amateur Hour. And Amateur Hour is basically sucking. But that's all I got. That's my main gripe for this. That's it. The music is beautiful. The plot is wonderful. The battle scenes, the two that we get. Spinell's first appearance when she takes out all three of the gems and just toys with them. Basically screwing with all four of them and Steven combined, weren't enough to stop them. They just couldn't stop her. Steven manages to do it by taking, I think it was like a refractor? I don't know, the scythe reset her and basically poofing her, which reset her back to her more purified form. Yeah, I know. She got pissed because she thought Steven was going to do it again. She overread the situation, but she makes for a good maniacal villain. I mean, can we have some more of this in, like, the next season? I mean, this was good. Maniacal. Twisted. Overpowered by a light year at best. Schooled the Crystal Gems like they were nothing. Amethyst made the joke that she was out of practice. No, Amethyst, it wouldn't have mattered. Spinell just outclassed your ass. But in all, at the end of the day, I give this movie 5. 5 out of 5. This is a must-see, must-own. If you're a Steven Universe fan, what are you even waiting for? Get your ass to a store, pick up this DVD or Blu-ray or however it is in physical copy, or get it online from like the Play Store, streaming service you can buy it and hold on to it for eternity. You have to watch this thing. It is so worth it. Honestly, I can't stress it enough. This is one of the best Steven Universe-related items that has ever graced the world. I mean that. And I would like to see more of this. I want to see a new season with 16-year-old Steven. I want to see a whole new season with everything that has transpired in this leading into it. This is the bridge between the first half and the next half, and I want to see what the future is going to hold for this. This has a bright future ahead of it, and I swear if Cartoon Network pisses it off and screws it over, you will hear me ranting about it. But otherwise, as far as review-wise, I give this movie a 5 out of 5. I recommend you pick it up, and until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes, and this has been Andrew Reviews. Bye, everybody, and don't forget, we are the Crystal Gems, and if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.